William Samoei Arap Ruto, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, is a shrewd politician. President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga had successfully managed to isolate William Samoei Arap Ruto and pushed him into a corner. But unknown to them, the Deputy President was re-strategizing. And before they knew, the Deputy President managed to win to his side Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Masika Wetangula. As a matter of fact, today in this country, if Ruto had not won the support of Mudavadi and Wetangula, I don't know how his campaigns would be looking like today. Probably would be confined to Rift Valley and to Mount Kenya. But one question which Kenyans have been asking is the power sharing arrangement between Musalia Mudavadi and William Samoei Arap Ruto. Because if you look at it critically, Musalia Mudavadi had a chance on Raila Odinga's side, because assuming Raila Odinga wins the presidency and he becomes the president and serves for one term, Musalia Mudavadi has or had a chance of succeeding Raila Odinga. But assuming William Ruto wins the presidency in August, it means Musalia Mudavadi's chance will be reduced, so he can't be president for the next 10 years. And again, there was assumption that Musalia Mudavadi was going to be William Ruto's running mate. That one is now ruled out. Because the other day, William Ruto's UDA party was very categorical that Ruto is going to run on UDA, and his running mate is also going to come from UDA. And over the weekend, Cleophas Malala, the man who is credited for delivering Musalia Mudavadi to William Ruto, made some statements. He revealed the power sharing arrangement between Musalia Mudavadi and William Samoei Arap Ruto. I want you to listen to Cleophas Malala very briefly. Then I want to expose the unrealistic arrangement which the Deputy President and his allies are trying to sell to the Luhya nation. Listen in.
Ruto, because Ruto ametupatia share katika serikali yake. Tumekaa chini tukaelewana 30% of government will come to Western Province. Ametuambia kwa mawaziri 21 atatupatia 7, kwa PS atatupatia 13, CAS atatupatia 15, heads of parastatals atatupatia 185. Sisi tungependa kuchallenge wale viongozi ambao wako kwa Azimio. Raila Odinga, ukikuja hapa Lukuyani, kuja uwaambie sisi ni nini unatupatia kwa serikali.
No, that's Cleophas Malala. Now, let us just use numbers, and I want to be very specific. I want to use the figures which Cleophas Malala shared. According to Cleophas Malala and their power sharing arrangement, and by the way, William Ruto and Musalia Mudavadi formed a technical committee. That committee has members, Professor Kithure Kindiki. It has Musalia Mudavadi's ally, I think Dan Ameyo, and Wetangula also seconded someone. So this technical committee is the one which came up with this power sharing arrangement. But in my view, this power sharing arrangement cannot work anywhere. It is actually meant to hoodwink the Luhya nation. Of course, it can work, but if it was not meant for the Luhya nation. And I want to give you an example. When Kibaki and Raila had shared power, it was 50-50. Which means Kibaki had 50% of the government, Raila Odinga had 50% of the government. But Raila Odinga had the option of sharing that power across the country. Now we are in a situation where, for example, Musalia Mudavadi is being told that you have 30%. But his men and women on the ground are saying that that 30% is for the Luhya nation. That is a blatant lie. We have 21 cabinet secretaries according to the constitution. So if Ruto wins the presidency today, in my view, he will have 21 cabinet secretaries. According to the formula, 30% would mean, according to Malala also, that Luhya nation will have 7 cabinet secretaries from the Luhya nation. I want to ask you, do you think it's possible? It's not. The first question is, how many votes are Luhya nation going to give or to deliver to deserve that number? Because you have how many tribes in this country? 41. Okay, let me put it. How many regions do we have? We have 8 regions. The Mount Kenya region cannot and will never allow Western Kenya to have more cabinet secretaries because they have the numbers and they will deliver those numbers to Ruto, if anything. So assuming Ruto will also say that the Mount Kenya region will now have, let's say, the same number or 7. Or if not 7, let's say, we'll say, okay, Mount Kenya, you have 8. So 8 plus 7, that would mean 15. 8 plus 7, 15. So which means Ruto will now be left with how many? 6 cabinet secretaries to share across the country. How many do you think he will give to the Rift Valley? How many do you think he will share with the coastal region? How many do you think will go to the northeastern? How many? Okay, he can decide not to give Nyanza, Luo Nyanza, but how many do you think will go to Kisii? So that power sharing arrangement cannot work. It can only work in a situation where ANC party is given 30% of the government. And that 30% is not for the Luhya nation, the way Malala is putting it. So that Mudavadi can say, Ruto and Mudavadi can say, I'm giving you 30%. So Mudavadi will go to Kambani, identify some of his guy to be appointed as a cabinet secretary. Then he goes to Coast, gives someone else, maybe Nyanza here, he can decide to give me 1. Then he can share the rest there. So that when Ruto will be appointing his part of the government, then we'll say Mudavadi has already given Nyanza, northeastern, so Ruto can then decide to spread his part of the bargain. So that power sharing arrangement is not going to be possible. The second thing which is not going to be possible, which is unrealistic in my view, is the idea of zoning. And zoning is actually working in favor of UDA and not ANC party. The other day you saw William Ruto and Mudavadi supporting the UDA candidate in Kisii. So Kisii will go that way. I'm yet to see William Ruto ceding grounds for ANC party in Nairobi, for example, in Westlands. I'm yet to see him ceding grounds to Musalia Mudavadi, let's say in a place like Kisii, let's say a member of parliament who is popular there. So the zoning will also not work. Even in Western Kenya, which is Musalia Mudavadi's stronghold, William Ruto will not allow ANC party to just have it easy. In Kakamega already, he has Boni Alwale taking care of his interest. But the deputy president is facing a dilemma, and that's why his team must give those unrealistic figures. Once he wins the presidency, those figures will not be applied. The first dilemma the deputy president is facing is the Kikuyu voting bloc. And I've always asked this question. Do you think William Ruto can sacrifice the support of the Kikuyu nation for Musalia Mudavadi? He can't. If he were willing to do that, Musalia Mudavadi would have been chosen as his running mate. So that alone tells you that the deputy president understands the importance and the value of the Kikuyu nations in his campaign. If you remove the Kikuyu nation from William Ruto, his bid will be as good as dead. He has invested heavily. If there's one region where the deputy president has invested, it's in the larger Mount Kenya region. He has invested his energy, he has invested his resources, he has invested his time and everything in Mount Kenya. And therefore, he cannot tell the people of the larger Mount Kenya region that I'm going to give Western Kenya 30%. And you guys, we are going to share 70. Mount Kenya will demand that out of the 70 we are going to share, we are going to give us 40%. Which means the deputy president will be left with 30 to share with the Coast and Rift Valley. I don't think that's going to happen, especially when you are talking of appointment, because of course government is appointments, so that cannot happen. I had Malala talking of William Ruto giving them, the Luhya nation, over 180 heads of parastatal. It can't work. Malala, don't play with your people. Just support Ruto. Pray that when Ruto becomes the president, he will appoint a few lawyers to various positions, and those lawyers will be able to serve the country and specifically the Luhya nation, but not lie. It can't work. So William Ruto's dilemma is the Kikuyu voting bloc, which he can never sacrifice for anything. In fact, if it's a matter of giving Mount Kenya region the running mate, William Ruto will give. If they demand 8 cabinet secretaries, William Ruto will give them, because they are the bulk, the core of his support. If Mount Kenya were not there to stand with Ruto, if they were not there, do you think Ruto would have survived up to this moment? Probably would have even been impeached. So William Ruto cannot sacrifice the mountain for Western. It won't happen. The second dilemma is facing is locking out Raila Odinga from the larger Luhya nation. The truth of the matter is that William Ruto understands politics, and he has the mountain in his pocket. He can do whatever he wants with them. So now they are safe. His interest is now the Western, the Luhya nation. And in Luhya nation, the deputy president is not out there to win the votes. He's basically outside there to try and lock out Raila Odinga from that region. If Raila Odinga was to get 70% or 80% from Western Kenya, William Ruto's interest is to reduce those figures. And the only way to reduce those figures is to bring on board Musalia Mudavadi and Weta. So that, because politics is a game of perception, so that these guys will come with their supporters, and their supporters will support the DP. The truth of the matter is that assuming Musalia Mudavadi has even 30% of support in the larger Western Kenya, those support will automatically be transferred to William Samoei Arap Ruto. And that's what the DP is working on, because already he has locked the mountain, and in a situation where Mudavadi was not going to run, in a situation where Mudavadi was going to run, those votes would have gone to Mudavadi. And now those votes are not going to Mudavadi, they are going to him. And in a situation where Mudavadi was supporting Raila, those votes would have gone now to Raila Odinga. So he's keen on just trying to lock out Raila Odinga from the Luhya nation. Any vote he can get there. So that's another dilemma. And that's why his team are willing to even come up with unrealistic power sharing arrangement, like promising the Luhya nation 30% of the government appointment. That will not work. If that was to work, William Ruto would have told them, let's begin with Kakamega. Let's take the governor and take the Senate. Let's go to Kisii. Let me take this, you take this. Otherwise, Musalia Mudavadi is being played. And number 3 is Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka's factor. William Ruto had schemed so well that that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka was going to go up to the ballot. But unknown to him, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka also had a different idea. President Uhuru Kenyatta persuaded him, and is not going to support Raila Odinga, which means the Kamba nation are likely to follow and support Raila Odinga as we speak. The challenge the DP has now is the Luhya nation. The Luhya nation must not support Raila Odinga. So we can tell them whatever he's telling them, even if they are lies, because politics, the truth of the matter is that in politics, hakuna deni. Nobody can come to Ruto in the next few years or months after the election that you promised to give the Luhya nation 30%. Hakunanga deni kwa siasa. So he cannot promise them whatever he can, but the truth of the matter, which is even known to his supporters, is that the 30% of government is unrealistic, and that the Kalonzo Musyoka factor is one thing which is now pushing him so hard towards towards the Luhya nation. I don't know what you think. That's my take. And by the way, between Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka, who should be Raila Odinga's running mate? Swala nyeti. That's my next topic. Goodbye.